Here's a quick introduction to the SOFIA archive. The IRSA main page has a link to SOFIA, but also note that it has a video tutorials link down here and the help desk. The video tutorials link describes how we organize our tutorials and has links to the playlists that combine a bunch of videos on a similar theme. SOFIA is here. We go to the SOFIA archive. And the most common search is probably going to be a position search. So you can put in the position of the thing that you want. Note that you can search on a list of positions, a solar system target, look for any serendipitous observations of a solar system target, or do a search over the whole sky. You can add additional constraints like the proposal information, the observation information, including observation date, instrument constraints. You can limit the search by wavelength or by instrument. And you can search by data product constraints. Level 0 and level 1 are the rawest level of data. Level 3 and level 4 are the highest, most processed level of data. For this example, I'm just going to leave all of this as the defaults and search. This is what the search results look like. The tab that's on the top is an AOR tab. It's the most compact view of the observations. It found 100 observations that met our search criteria. If you want to see these depicted on the sky, if you pick the coverage tab, it shows all of these polygons on top of the sky in near infrared. All those polygons correspond to all of the observations that it found. Each of the instruments we requested has a tab in the results. If you go to the X's tab, you can see that it found 657 data products that met our constraints. The data tab here renders the specific observation that's selected. In this case, it's a mask file, so it's not terribly interesting. But this data product is this spectrum here. You can click and drag in the plot and then filter. And then the plot zooms in. You can also view this as a table, and this table, just like this one, has the ability to filter. Here you can see the filters that I imposed from the plot. To cancel the filters, hit the Cancel Filter button. You can go back and view it as a chart. You can also make the chart big. Let's go back and look at some of the other data products. SOFIA AAS has a bunch of data products in here. We asked for level 3 and level 4. Remember that level 4 is going to be a higher level product. So let's pick level 4, filter. Now it's showing the data product here on the right. There's several different HDUs, and within each HDU, there's several wavelength planes. You can use the arrows to navigate, or you can type in a number and jump to that plane. You can also use this menu to pick which HDU you want to work with. FlightCam has images that are shown here. Forecast has images that are shown here. For both FlightCam and Forecast, these are FITS images, and so you can interact with the FITS images using this toolbar on top. There's another movie in the IRSA YouTube feed that talks about what all of these do. FBI Plus doesn't have any observations on M42. GREAT has lots of observations. The red rows are proprietary data, so unless you're logged in and have access to that program, you can't preview or download that data. This data product is public, and so you can see a preview of the spectrum here. Here too, you can view it as a table or a chart. You can also view the other spectrum that is in this file. You can also, if you really want to, look at all of the images in the file as images. For some of the GREAT data, this particular file is a FITS file. If you go to a tarball, the tarball can't be shown in the data tab, but there's usually a preview that shows you what kinds of data can be found in that tarball. Hawk also often has previews, but you have to pick the right kind of data. Let's limit this to level 4 data. There, it's got a preview of that data. For some of the data products, you can get a preview of the data here. And here you can scroll through the planes, or you can pick the planes from here. To download data, all you have to do is click the tick boxes at the beginning of each row that you want. Or if you want all of the data, click the tick box at the top. Prepare download. Depending on the data product, you may want the PNGs, the preview images that come with the data, or you might want any region file overlays. You can choose to have the data structured, in other words, lots of subdirectories or no subdirectories at all. This is where you put the file name that it's going to use for your local disk. You can save it on your local disk or on the IRSA workspace. If you're downloading a lot of data, I recommend turning on email notification. Then when all the data are packaged up and ready for you, you'll get an email with a list of links to download all the data that you selected.